Hey, what's up everybody? It's Nick Chino from VigilanteDetective.com and welcome to my latest rock album review for the fourth studio album from Australian rockers Hands Like Houses. It's called Anon. Or is it Anon or Anonymous? I don't know. Anon or Anon or Anonymous is the follow-up to 2016's Dissonance, an album that I really liked. And I kind of got into Hands Like Houses over the last couple of years with the song Colorblind, a really strong single from them. And on this new record, the band is going into more of a mainstream rock direction. They're doing less of that post-hardcore sound that they've done in the past. There's less hardcore breakdowns on this album, less screaming vocals, and more of an electronic direction and more of a mainstream rock sound. Yeah, it's definitely less hardcore overall. I would say it's kind of closer to Lower Than Atlantis territory than like Bring Me the Horizon territory, even though Bring Me the Horizon is a lot poppier than they used to be. And Hands Like Houses is kind of part of the crop that I like to call like the AP bands, the alternative press bands, the rock sound bands, the Kerrang bands, bands that may not necessarily be out in the mainstream as much as, you know, other mainstream rock acts, but are still putting out really good music and keeping rock alive. Alright, so let's start with the songs on this album that I enjoyed, the highlights. Kingdom Come, which was a decent opener. It's more electronic based, and I'm kind of curious what hardcore Hands Like Houses fans think of songs like this, because like I said, I'm a relatively new fan. It doesn't really matter to me whether the band kind of goes in a mainstream direction, but if you're a diehard Hands Like Houses fan who's been with them since the beginning, this might be a little bit of a change for you. I don't know if that's a good change or a bad change. Monster, which is the breakthrough single on this album. This should hopefully get them some more airplay because this is a very, very strong single. If I was still working on the radio, that would be a song that I would definitely be playing. Sick, another highlight, extremely well done song. Really enjoyed that one. Overthinking, which kind of takes things a little bit of a rock balladish direction. Every mainstream rock band, if you're going to be trying to break through, you gotta have that ballad that everybody's going to be singing and dancing to, and it's just going to be so romantic. Through Glass is another electronic-driven pop number that I really enjoyed. I'm curious to know what, like I said, what hardcore Hands Like Houses fans think of a song like this, because it's very different than what they've done in the past. And then in general, the album goes softer in the middle. It's got like a crunchy outer shell with a nice gooey soft middle with songs like Through Glass, Half-Hearted, No Man's Land. These are decent songs, but they brought the album into a territory of rock that I don't really like, and that's like the Imagine Dragons kind of territory, which is just kind of bland indie rock with, you know, electronic elements with no real dynamics and no real punch. So it kind of lost my attention a little bit in the middle of the album, but then things get a little bit rockier towards the end. You know, a lot of albums seem to be doing that. I'm like, they're either front-loaded or they're back-loaded. I don't know why it's so hard for bands to even things out when it comes to sequencing their records. Black is the track 8 on this album. It's the first one to feature any real screaming. Of course, Trenton Woodley of Hands Like Houses has a great voice, and he's doing things on this album that are different. On his past albums, he's always screaming his lungs out and singing songs that are really high in his register. On this album, he brings things down a little bit, and it's still enjoyable. Overall, this is a pretty short listen. It clocks into about 30 minutes. It's got 10 tracks on it, which is something that I really appreciated because, I like an album that's a good hour long, but since I've been doing this rock album review channel, I've been listening to a lot more records. I enjoyed it having a shorter runtime, and I think this is an album that could help the band break through in North America a little bit more. I'm not sure how popular they are in Australia, but I think this is an album that could do good things for Hands Like Houses. When it comes to the songwriting and the production, I think this band is pulling a little bit of a Kings of Leon. You know, it's their fourth studio album. When a band gets on in their years and they start releasing their fourth and fifth albums, they tend to just generally get a little bit softer. I think they get older, they start getting into different types of music, they realize that they don't have to be killing themselves out on stage every night, screaming their lungs out. They can do something that's a little bit more mainstream and something that can appeal to a wider audience. And I think that's what Hands Like Houses is doing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. All the power to these guys to keep their career going and keep things on an upward trajectory. So overall, I'm going to give the new album from Hands Like Houses, Anon or Anonymous, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought the front half was pretty good and kind of the back half was pretty good. I didn't really love that gooey Imagine Dragons center, but that's all right. Again, I'm curious to hear what hardcore Hands Like Houses fans think of the new record. Make sure to comment in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video. I'd appreciate that. Make sure to share it with your fellow rock fans and to subscribe to the channel here on Rock Album Review. It was actually a very busy weekend for new rock album releases. We had the Hands Like Houses album, we had Tom Morello, the Atlas Underground, and the new album from Young the Giant called Mirror Master. All those rock album reviews are up on the channel, or will be up on the channel very soon, so make sure to check back for that. Check me out on social media, on Twitter, at The Walking Nick, and at VigilanteDetective.com. We'll see you in the next rock album review. This is Chino, out.